Nice. Thanks, Maddie. Good morning, everybody. We welcome you to our service this morning, wherever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation or gender identity. You are welcome to worship here and become a part of this community. We have a few announcements. First of all, the coffee house last night was a lot of fun and very successful. The Jethros were a great group, and we had a lot of good pies that were made for Pie Day. On this Tuesday evening, we have our monthly potluck, and so we'd love to have everybody come if you'd like. It's always a lot of fun. We get samples of what everybody makes, and it's always nice to get homemade food. And remember that whatever you bring, you take home. Bring your own utensils so we don't have to do dishes afterwards. And what other announcements?
In addition to this month's potluck, it happens to fall on St. Patrick's Day, so we're going to do a potato-themed potluck. You don't have to follow the theme, but if you want to, bring your favorite potato dish.
Sounds good.
You don't have to bring anything at all. You can also just come. And let's see. For those, I see some new faces here. We had an event last night, and we were too lazy to set the chairs back up. This is not what it usually looks like. Saturday is Karen's traditional ballot singing contest. That is for kids ages grade 4 through age 25 can sign up to compete for cash prizes singing traditional English or Irish ballads. If you want info, let me know. Even if you don't have kids, you can come and watch. It's a fun night, and it's a way to preserve the art form. And it's hosted here, but the coffee house crew will be selling concessions, so there'll be food and drinks and stuff like that. And I think that's it for me.
Okay, Aaron?
The Chinese raffle dinner is this weekend. Not this weekend. The deadline is next weekend for RSVPs. If you want to come in, have a seat. And David is also, David is going to do before it arrives. If you have items to go to the raffle, you can bring them in anytime. You can come see me if you're interested in what to bring. If you're not going to eat the dinner, that's okay. Just we need an RSVP for the seating, so we know how many seats. And there's a sign-up sheet, and we need desserts as well. So if anybody's willing to take that dessert, no seating at all, or after desserts. There's pie and things that you're welcome to do.
Okay. Any other announcements? Okay, then I would like to welcome Reverend Barbara Upton.
I love that stool. When Rick was shutting the curtains up there, I thought, oh no, am I supposed to sing? So you don't want me to sing, I can guarantee you that. So I won't, I promise you. Good morning. It's always wonderful to see your faces. The poem I've decided to start off with today is one by Robert Frost. It goes with my theme today of if only. I know that most of you probably will at least recognize, if not know verbatim, these words. A couple of years ago, I went with a friend of mine up to the Robert Frost Museum in Derry, New Hampshire. And we took one of the roads that was not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden back, black. Oh, I kept the first one for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Our chalice lighting this morning will be by Rick. Do you need a musical introduction? No.
It's always here if you need it.
Please stand as you're willing and able. You'll find the words to recite in your order of service. That's this.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning,
in celebration of the life we share together. And now the affirmation, please.
Love
Love the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God. And now our opening hymn will be number 42 in your hymnal on your table, Morning So Fair to See.
So this is hymn number 42, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Never one person got it. We haven't done this one before, so I'm going to quickly teach it. We're going to go line by line. It's a pretty easy melody, but there's a lot of parts that are going on right here. So the first line sounds like. So let's try that line. Morning so fair to see, night filled with mystery. 1, 2, ready, go. Morning so fair to see, night filled with mystery. The second line sounds like. That's last words, right? Everyone together. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, the third line sounds like.
Thank you, Maddie. Please be seated. And now is the time for a little story for the little kids. Okay, I have a question to ask of any of the younger people, and anyone of any age can answer it. Have you ever done something for which you are sorry? Not a bad thing, like a stupid thing. Although there are no stupid things, but there are stupid things. So that's untrue. A foolish thing, a wild thing, a crazy thing. Have you ever done anything like that for which you were sorry afterwards? Let me explain. You have. Do you want to share? So many. Okay. That's what that means. There are so many foolish things I've done. I would agree with you, for me. Okay. I will share with you one time a thing that I did. I was in college. At the time, of course, I thought I was grown up. I wasn't, but I thought I was in my head. And I decided it would be a good thing to make popcorn one night. Now, you know how now, oh, look at you, Dottie, you know, right? You know, you probably know what's going to happen. You know, now you go to the store and you buy a bag of popcorn, but do you ever make popcorn? Okay, so I had a popcorn maker in my dorm, which is where I lived, with a bunch of other people. And we all thought it would be a very good idea to make popcorn. Well, popcorn poppers, that is their job, to pop popcorn. The one thing that you should remember to put on the top of your popcorn maker when you make popcorn is what? The lid. Okay. So I got chatting probably, as I might want to do, and I could hear the popcorn popping around the corner. And then I could really hear it popping. And I looked around the corner, and the entire corner of my room was filled with popcorn, just bouncing everywhere. It smelled delicious. But it was a disaster. I had popcorn everywhere. When I moved out at the end of that year, guess who found popcorn kernels under stuff, in stuff? One day I was sitting in a class and I went to pull down my sleeve, and what do you think fell out? Popcorn. Do I regret that I did that? Yeah, I suppose so. It's a funny story, right? It's a very funny story. Can you picture yourself doing that? Yeah, anybody done anything that foolish? Yes, okay, Rick is an honest person, and he's saying, yes, I have, yeah. And you're an honest woman, and you're saying the same thing. And the kids are going, oh, I would never, ever do anything that stupid. What's wrong with that lady? Yeah, well, you'll do even more foolish things, I guarantee you. The thing that we hope is that we learn something from it. Do you think I ever forgot to put a lid on my popcorn popper ever again? Oh, you say yes. No, I learned from my mistakes most of the time. And I did. I didn't do it again. But my room smelled great for about 3 weeks. It just smelled like popcorn forever, like you go into a movie theater. You know that wonderful smell? I could have just eaten a 5-course dinner, but the second I go into a movie theater and smell popcorn, that's all I want is popcorn. So next time that you get some popcorn, just think of me. And did I say to myself, if only I hadn't been so foolish? I did. But it's still a great story to tell. And I know that you like it because I can see your faces. Yeah. I hope you have wonderful classes. And I'll catch you later on the flip side. How's that? Okay. Shall we sing them to their class? And now that I've regaled you with my foolishness, which at one time probably would have embarrassed me, and now it's like, why not? Why not share? And it is now time to light candles for I would say either, but it doesn't have to be. It could be joy, another one for concern. If you wish to have one lit for you in joy, we will rejoice with you. If you have something that is sorrowful or terrifying or scary or worrisome on your mind, we may not be able to fix it, but we will at least be here for you and make it a little bit easier to withstand it. Just let us know if there is something for which you would like a candle lit today.
I'd like to, my keynote George, for not just for the coffee house, but for the camaraderie of all the volunteers as we do those events. It's really a great interaction.
It's a nice feeling, isn't it, Mike? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Thanks.
Rick?
Candle of concern for Iran, Venezuela, everywhere in the world right now. It appears there's not much talking going on.
I did hear this morning on the way here that perhaps some talks are going to start to take place. So let's hope that's true.
Yes.
I came with concern for my friends Clara and Joe, who are having some housing issues and job challenges.
Thank you.
Maddie?
I have some friends, I have one friend Autumn, who's finally getting settled into her new place, and we were in Living Out last week, and she's been amazing. And that's wonderful. I have a friend from the West Coast who just happened to be in Franklin. And I got to see her, and it was just wonderful. So it was just really nice to see these old friends and see them doing well.
Donna?
Gotta say, Punch the Monkey has friends.
Do I dare ask? Oh, is that the little, I love that. Oh my gosh. Couldn't you just pick him up and cuddle him? Oh my gosh. I know he'd rip us apart as he got older, but at this point, he's just adorable. And I saw that he had friends. At first, people were shunning him. People, animals. People weren't, but animals were. I know, isn't that awful? I'm glad to see the other side coming out. Thank you. Could you light one for me?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, thanks. This is Joy. My daughter, Carrie, has finally passed she's jumped through all of the hoops, and she got her final acceptance on Friday that she is going to be a kidney donor.
Oh.
So she's really excited about that. She'll be donating a kidney probably in, I think, either the end of May or beginning of June, after she runs her first marathon. So she's amazing. But I'm really happy for her. Somebody asked me the other night at dinner, as her mother, said, are you worried for her? I said, no. I said, I'll probably be nervous that day when she's having surgery. I said, but this is what she wants to do. So I'm really, really proud of her. Been thinking about it for a couple of years. And then her husband tore his Achilles twice. And those were not good times to go through it all. So she just got approved. So that's good. Yeah.
If there are no others, I'll light one last candle for all those joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts and are not ready to share.
Thank you so much. It's so important that we do that. Sometimes we can't fix anything, but what we can do is just bring it to light. We can't fix the world right now. We can't always fix illness. We can't ever fix death. But we can mitigate sorrows, and we can applaud accomplishments, and we can join together and make all of those things meaningful and worthwhile. And I like that you, the two of you lit candles for friends. Yeah, and for our monkey friend. I just think that's lovely, just lovely. And now is the time that we take a few moments in prayer and or meditation. I would invite you to get cozy in your pews, but that's not going to happen today. So get cozy at your little tables. Make believe, if you like, that you're at a coffee house. Consider the joy that you have in your life. It's so easy to think about the sadnesses that we have, the sorrows, the worries, the cares. What we forget about sometimes is those moments of joy. So think about those this morning. Be grateful that they're there. Take a few moments in prayer and or meditation, and then we will join together and sing Spirit of Life. And now is the time that we ask you to open up your pocketbooks and make your financial offerings for not only this church, but for the community services, for the ministries, and for the lights and the heat. Please stand as you are willing and able and join us in saying our dedication of gifts.
Spirit of truth, of life, of power, we bring ourselves as gifts to thee. Oh,
Please be seated. Thanks, Rick. As I mentioned, several years ago, a friend and I traveled to Derry, New Hampshire to visit the Robert Frost home. As English teachers, we both had taught poetry, and as New Englanders, one of the poets we brought to our students' attention most often was by Robert Frost. While we loved the self-guided tour through the farmhouse and the outbuildings, perhaps our favorite part of the trip was walking the path into the woods upon which Frost's most famous poem was based, The Road Not Taken. When I Googled this poem just this past week, I inadvertently miswrote the title as The Road Less Taken. Apparently, a book exists with this title, which actually looked pretty interesting, but it was not what I was looking for at that moment. It only took a few backstrokes to get to what I was looking for, but I kept hearkening back to the book title. The difference between the two phrases is only one word, yet the meaning is completely altered by that change. In the poem I read earlier, entitled The Road Not Taken, the choice made by Frost that day was one made deliberately, with purpose and conviction. If the poem had been named The Road Less Taken, the implication would have been modified and perhaps more ambiguous. With the word not in the title, the choice is made, unalterable and unequivocal. Less, however, implies that an opening exists for literally revisiting the branch in the road on another day at another time and choosing the alternate path, and also for rethinking decisions that we have made in our lives to achieve another outcome or a solution. I do not think that I am alone in having wished occasionally that the poem had been called, bless you, not bless you, but had been called The Road Less Taken. With that option available, how many of us might wish a redo of our lives, or at least portions thereof? Given the gift of age, and with that, better insight, and dare I say, perhaps some wisdom, aren't there moments when each of us have considered, if only I had listened to my mother? A lament made by many a teenager or young adult who find themselves in a precarious situation, perhaps preventable, had we just taken the advice put forth by a parent who probably had been in that exact same predicament at one time in his or her life. If only I had made better decisions about college or career, a phrase often spoken after having not taken the suggestions offered by a guidance counselor or a teacher earlier in life. If only I had not married that idiot. If only I had not been drinking that night. If only, if only, if only. If onlys are scattered all along our paths, along with the what ifs and the whys and the why nots. Litter consisting of poor choices and no choices, uninformed choices and errant choices, stupid and regrettable choices swirl at our feet, clouding the path on our journey toward joy. These impediments serve us not at all, but rather hinder us and prevent us from being who we are meant to be. At the moment when we are faced with a choice, we are on the precipice, the rim, the edge of becoming. What if are our guiding words then? What if we make this choice over another? What if one is not the right choice? What if one is the better choice? What if? What if? What if is the more spiritual version of if only. What if offers hope and excitement, while if only recognizes that the die has been cast and the option taken. What if is the question a person asks him or herself when contemplating entering into a more committed relationship, such as a marriage. What if I marry that man? What if she says yes? If only is the statement made after the what if has been asked and answered. If only I had not married her. If only has the weight of regret and remorse, while what if opens us up to wonder and the unknown. Children, I have found, tend to use the what if phrase. In fact, almost never do they follow a poor choice with an if only. Kids seem not to second guess themselves as adults do. When a child puts shoes on the wrong feet or neglects to put on mittens before venturing out on a cold day, his or her reaction after the discovery that a bad choice has been made is often laughter or a shrug. Oh well, they seem to say, no big deal. I'll do it better the next time. Adults, on the other hand, prefer to berate themselves with self-derision and ridicule. What an idiot, we might say. What was I thinking? Kids, when they realize they've screwed up, often see their poor choice as a learning moment, one from which they are not only open to finding a better solution, but are eager to do so. We, the supposedly more seasoned and brighter bunch, react differently. Don't we warrant a pass sometimes too? In Robert Frost's iconic poem, I believe he's trying to show us that in making choices, we are using logic and reason. Now, of course, in hindsight, it is plausible that that logic was flawed and the reason unreasonable. But nonetheless, at the time, our choice may have been the best that we could make at that moment. About the paths before him, Frost says, and both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. With full awareness, Frost makes a choice, willingly acknowledging that his action undoubtedly means that this option may never be before him again. When my husband and I married almost 45 years ago, I knew that he had been married before. At 22 and 19, he and his bride entered into a union that probably should never have taken place. My husband's mother was dying of cancer, and his bride was hoping to escape her life, where her parents were fighting constantly. Living together was a societal option that was still a few years off at that point, so marriage was their choice. Surprisingly enough, not so. Their marriage never really got off the ground, and within 1.5 years, they were living separately. Divorce was inevitable and sad. It was not the fault of either spouse individually, but rather an error that under different circumstances could and should have been avoided. That said, if only they had not married, perhaps neither would have been open or ready in years to come to embark on another marriage, this time armed with a bit more knowledge and a lot more experience. My good friend, for that is what my husband's first wife has become, is a source of joy for me, and I for her. Both she and my husband can see now in hindsight that each is better off with the spouses that they have. Maturity and wisdom have softened them both, and sadness and sorrow prepared each for the trials of their second marriages. When we come to the end of our lives, it is natural that we will all reflect on the choices that we have made. Whether those choices were the right ones, we may never know, but we made them and were forced to live with them. Many of them were not ones from which we could escape or deviate. As one door opened, others closed forever behind us, loudly and forcefully. The latches were turned, the locks secured, and the keys forever lost, rusting and cast aside. Thandika, a Unitarian Universalist minister, artist, and teacher, was born Sue Booker, but received her Zulu name from Bishop Desmond Tutu. Her name means one who is loved. In this excerpt from her writing entitled The Legacy of Caring, Thandika writes, "Despair is my private pain, born from what I have failed to say, failed to do, failed to overcome. From within this world, my despair is transformed, and I begin anew the legacy of caring." Despite Thandika's honest acknowledgement of sorrow and regret in her life, she chose to open herself to new and exciting adventures and opportunity. Mary Oliver, the poet and Pulitzer Prize recipient, says in Morning Poem, "Every morning the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heaped ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the higher branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are painted islands of summer lilies. If it is your nature to be happy, you will swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries with it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray. If only, perhaps Frost was correct. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Our choices make us who and what we are. Whatever circumstances drive us to make the choices that we make in life, we are, alas, bound by them inevitably. We are a summation of our parts, a conglomeration of events, a melding of our various happenstance. Flawed and fearful, on we plod. If we dare to be happy, to pray, to take the road others may not take, then that is our journey. If only is for those whose lives are based on regret. What if is for seekers of joy and awe. Amen. Our closing song is number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Please stand as you are willing and able, and we'll sing that one together. Number 6.
Just as long as I have breath,
as we extinguish our chalice and move on to our busy, crazy, fun lives, think about the decisions that you make. Try to make good ones. Try not to leave the lid off the popcorn popper. And if you do, find some humor in it and try not to do it again. I hope you have a wonderful week. After we extinguish our chalice, Maddie will play something marvelous and wonderful for us. So please sit down and enjoy that.
Please recite with me the words. You'll find them in your order of service.
I apologize for that. Yes.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Now you can be seated.